Welcome to the League's Local Perspective. The League of Wisconsin Municipalities hosts a half-hour community media show once a month, twice a month in this case, for the Creative Economy Week. It's a special week. It's Creative Economy Week in Wisconsin in partnership with Arts Wisconsin. We are here at the Oshkosh Media Studio. Thank you to them for hosting. And we're going to talk about Waupaca. And we have a couple of guests from Waupaca, and we're going to let Ann Katz from Arts Wisconsin, our partner in this endeavor, take it away.
Thank you, Gail. And thanks to Oshkosh Media for having us here. And thanks to the League for partnering with this, with Creative Economy Week, and partnering in a lot of ways to celebrate and promote what's happening in the arts education, and creative economy in the state. We're especially thrilled that the League is such a strong partner with Arts Wisconsin about the changing economy in the state, because it really shows that at the local level, cities and villages and the League representing all of those in the state are understanding and focused on what the changes in our economy, the changes in our communities, and staying ahead of those changes in a very positive way. So we're really thrilled that we get to sit here and talk about the arts and creativity, and we get to showcase Waupaca as a really good example of how the creative economy is working at the local level and the opportunities there. I want to point out for Creative Economy Week that the League focused on the arts and creativity in its Municipalities magazine in the May edition for Creative Economy Week. And you
can find that on our website.
You can find it on the website, lwm-info.org, and we'll have those on the screen or something. This is the third annual Creative Economy Week. It is May 12th through the 19th. So I know that this show will air after that, and that's fine, because every week in the year is about the creative economy. But Creative Economy Week is our opportunity to really focus attention on what's happening on the local level around the state and to celebrate. We end this week with the statewide downtown open house, which is sponsored by the Wisconsin Main Street program on Saturday, May 19th. So it's a week of celebration, and we're just going to continue celebrating after that. Arts Wisconsin is the state's community cultural development organization, and we're all about the arts as essential to Wisconsin's future and essential to economic vitality, education for the 21st century, healthy communities, and engaged residents. And that's what we say over and over again, and that's what we live in terms of knowing that the arts are alive and well in the state, and that Wisconsin should be investing as much as possible in those assets. So we're here today with Henry Veliker, who's the city administrator for the city of Waupaca, and Marcy Reynolds, who's president of the Waupaca Community Arts Board. And Arts Wisconsin has been working with the city and with community partners like the Arts Board for the last year, at least the last year, more than a year, on cultural planning. So the city of Waupaca, bless their hearts, and to their great credit, has invested in exploring what creativity is all about in Waupaca, what kind of assets are on the ground already, and what can be done with those assets to make an even better Waupaca. So for a city of 6,000 people to be making that kind of investment and commitment is really important and really impressive. And the community partners that the city has been working with range from the Community Arts Board to the Fine Arts Festival to the school district to individual artists to local businesses, and everyone. I've been extremely impressed by the enthusiasm, the dedication, the really hard work that people have shown as we've done this exploration, and we've created this plan, which was approved by the City Council on Tuesday night.
Oh, congratulations. Wow.
That's
impressive, right?
It was all planned.
It was all
yes.
planned.
Right. That's what I do.
I love it.
And I'm glad we have the opportunity to talk about why the city has made this investment and what's been happening in Waupaca and what can happen. So I'm going to turn it over to Henry to talk about why the city thought that this was an important investment for the planning and the whatever happens next.
Well, thanks very much, Ann, and I appreciate the focus you're putting on our community. We have a wonderful community, so for the whole state to learn more, it's great. I think as a local official and people that are my peers, elected officials, I mean, we're all about making our communities better, right? I mean, that's why we do this work. And sometimes when you're in local government, you've got to ride the wave when it's happening. And I think we're going to go into a little bit of the history. But I think the Community Arts Board, for a period of time, prior to us really initiating the arts plan, had kind of set the stage for us to get on board and be a partner. And so I think from the city standpoint, you know, we have what's called a comprehensive plan in Wisconsin. And one of the elements is arts and culture. And, you know, it's been 10 years since we updated our plan, so thinking strategically, why not, you know, try to kill two birds with one stone, sort of thing. And so I saw that as an opportunity, but to kind of check that box for the comp plan, but more importantly, just to have the conversation, because again, I probably come at it, and I've told Marcy a lot, kind of from the economic development perspective. But you know, when you get in groups of people that you're not used to interacting with, there's a lot of other reasons to do the arts. It's about quality of life. It's about, you know, it's about, you know, human development. It's about, you know, all that.
Right.
And so again, it just wasn't really hard to get to do this, because there was active groups willing to talk, and I just think the city just really took the opportunity. And I don't think it was anything beyond that, other than to try to advance the discussion and come up with something that we can all coalesce around.
Right.
You know, resources are limited. And you know, we want to be all rolling in the same direction, I think, on this kind of stuff. So that's the why.
That's an excellent reason. Those are excellent reasons, right? So Marcy, can you tell us again about what you were building on, the kinds of things that the Community Arts Board has done, and sort of the culture of Wapaka, and then we can talk about what happens next.
Well, I guess from our perspective, from the Community Arts Board, we are not like the foundational arts organization. In Wapaka, there's another organization called the Fine Arts Committee, or Fine Arts Festival, I'm sorry. And that's been around for, is it 52 years?
Yes.
53 years? So there was a visionary long ago that felt that even though Wapaka was a rural location, there was room for bringing in some good stuff like music and art and theater. And so they built kind of an annual program around those three facets. And Wapaka, being a small rural community, farming based, really has transformed over the years. Many people have moved into the city, I think primarily because of the foundry and the healthcare industry. So it's sort of transformed over years, and as more people came into the community, I think they brought in fresh ideas or a desire to be involved, but maybe not in those three specific things. So that was the birth of the Community Arts Board, and we've been around, it's a small group of volunteers. We've been around for maybe 18 or 20 years, actually. Sort of started out as a very small kind of cultish thing, like many arts groups do, and
kept growing.
And kept growing and kind of filling in a lot of gaps. You know, if you don't want to be in a community choir or a symphony, maybe you want to be at Chick Night and just, do your thing. So it was more of
a... I want to be at Chick Night.
I mean, you should be at Chick Night, actually. You should.
It's during hunting season.
Yeah. It's changed, and so we're more of a loose group that, like I said, I feel like we sort of fill in the gaps, but we also, in recent years, have wanted to not only fill in gaps, but bring people together, because Wapaka is a sort of a cultural area. There's a kind of a heavy counterculture. There's a lot of, I would like to say old hippies. Can I say that on the air?
You can say
which,
that.
There's a lot of creativity. There's musicians, there's artists, there's people that want to live off the land, there's alternative energy.
I know there's a huge local food movement.
Local food, organic gardening is big. There's a lot of alternative energy
local
stuff
food,
going on.
local art, it's all connected.
Yeah, so that is just sort of the base of, I think, where we ended up. And as our group started to realize how much fun we were having and people wanted to be involved with us, we started to try to open it up to anyone in the community, and that meant the city government. And so we did a couple of art summits We called them art summits because it was a big word, and we thought, well, let's just call it an art
That sounds
summit.
impressive.
Because then
does.
people will think we actually are having an art summit. So
I
so
spoke
we
at the
did
first
that.
one.
Yes, and Anne was our speaker. We literally, I think, looked in the phone book and said, let's get somebody with
Oh, the
a
phone
big
book.
title, with a long lot
Had a
of
phone book.
letters behind their name. And you came and talked about creative economy, and we're like, oh, that makes sense, because not only is this fun, but you could probably, people could probably make a living if everybody pulled together. And so over the years, we had, I think, 2 art summits. The city actually
Well, the first one we
phenomenally
didn't do
went
anything.
for it. No, you did. You paid for the food.
Okay.
Yes.
And then
You
the
paid for the
second
food.
one, we
Bless
were
your
involved
heart.
a little bit in the
A
plan.
little bit in the planning, but then the third one was the charm,
What
because
did
then
we
they
do
were like,
now?
okay, now we really want to do this, and we were
Yeah.
like,
Well, I
oh,
think that was the springboard for the cultural plan.
it
Yeah.
was, and we were sort of like, oh, now they really actually want to be involved. Oh crap. You know? But
Messing with city government. Look out.
so then we actually had to sit around tables and come up with all kinds of stuff, and it was really phenomenal because we had it before, so people knew about the Art Summit, and they kind of were like, oh, well, what are you guys doing? Is it going to be anything good for me? And so at the most recent one that we had with the city, we really had we had breakout sessions, we had everything. We had cocktails, we had we had
Whatever
speakers,
helps, whatever
we had
helps.
PowerPoints. It was like this really big deal. And so there were many groups that came out of that. They didn't necessarily get a lot done, but the energy congealed, and it was all about bringing our energy together is really what it was. And it was about relationships, and so people got to know each other. So then one of the kind of focus groups continued to meet, and that was really the genesis of the group that gave the most input, I think, with the cultural plan.
Right.
It was people from all these different sectors.
Right.
It was people from fine arts. We had teachers. We had a school board member.
Winchester.
We had all of the groups coming to the table, around the table with the cocktails, and then unbeknownst to us, you were writing stuff down. Anne was writing stuff
We
down.
were asking questions,
and pretty
writing
soon
stuff
there's
down.
this cultural plan. We're like, we didn't work on that, but pretty soon
But
you
you
gave
did.
us you gave
You
us
did.
homework assignments, and we're like, we're not doing that, but we did do it.
You did do it, right.
And now we have this lovely document
Right.
that got approved by City Council. I hope they read it, because there's real stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's some real, some
Well,
real
now the fun stuff works.
Well,
Now we
Yeah,
got to
we- now we
and
gotta
that's,
put
and
it
that's
into
the point.
action.
You know,
Right.
the plan is the easy thing.
Right.
Yeah.
absolutely.
It's the ongoing work, and we always the process. You know,
Well,
the
and the
process.
process is about relationships, really. I mean, I fundamentally feel that. I feel like no matter what, whether you're talking about economy or beauty or quality of life, it's all of us in our town working together. And so the funny thing is the Wapaka Community Arts Board, we do a festival every summer, an arts festival, and we do a community project. And this year, it's really the embodiment of this plan,
Right.
and it really is actually happening that way. We are building this
What's it
huge.
called?
It's called Watopia,
Right.
which we're going to rename our town.
I don't know.
And
I don't know. About
I don't know.
that.
If that was in the fine
Unless-
print in the
unless
cultural
that's our
plan.
tagline
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Can't steal Austin's, right?
Keep Austin weird.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Keep Austin weird. Well,
Wapaka is
Watopia is.
Watopia.
Everybody knows what that means, though. That's what's so funny.
Yeah.
And so it's this big, huge sculpture that we're building. It's 3 stories high. It's made up of individual pods, which are basically plywood crates. And so we made these kits. It's sort of like packaged like IKEA, and everybody's going to get a kit. So we had 22 groups sign up, and it's all the players that are on this committee.
Right. See, everyone is
So it's
energized
like
now.
it's
Everybody's
really
got
cool,
a role.
and they're all coming up with ideas now, and it's getting bigger and bigger. And it's a good thing I don't work anymore. I just retired in November, because this is what I do every day. Is I go to Watopia, and we talk about just everyone has a great idea for it. Some people are going to make their kits, and they're going to put them outside their stores all summer before the thing is built. It's just phenomenal, and it's people talking to each other. Really, I keep coming back to the relationship part of it. And together, we can do more than each person separately being concerned about the same thing. So economy is a big part of it, but also just the quality of our community. We don't really live in the richest community. We have a lot of poverty, and we have heroin, we have a lot of stuff going on. And those are things that need to be resolved human to human, not policy to policy. So that's what's really great about this whole thing, the committee, the Watopia, and everybody coming together. So it's really awesome.
That's fabulous. So
Yeah,
Henry,
sorry to
tell
talk
us-
so much.
No, that's
good. Very helpful.
Yeah,
interesting,
come on.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
give her any more time.
Don't give me any
She'll
time.
talk
How
for
much
2
time do I
hours.
have? Yeah.
I'm interested in a little bit more about what the city council discussion was around the plan.
Well, it was very little. They're like, okay, motion to
That
approve.
looks good.
Well, I have to be brutally honest.
Uh-huh.
We had a marathon meeting agenda, and we had a couple big decisions later on in the agenda. And I'll be frank with you, I think the council was just sort of like, we got to get to the next item, get to the next item. But they've been plugged in. We have an older person, Mary Fair.
Mary
who's
Fair is
been-
on
been-
our group.
been on
Yeah,
our
she's
group.
been a good representative. So
Yeah, and
So-
she's been a really good link. You know, I went to school in Charleston, South Carolina, and I interned out of the mayor's office. And I'll never
Ooh.
forget Mayor Riley. He said a city should be as beautiful as it is for its, you know, it's such a tourism destination, but he said it needs to be beautiful and a great place to live for our people, you know. So I think just having this
Right.
type of thing, I mean, you know, just if we get, you know, this is going to be a challenge, you know, plugging in and getting youth involved and getting, you know, schools involved actively and all kind of, you know, pitching in and working on it. But I think it provides a great platform for these different organizations, different types of people to get together. And I think, you know, it's kind of community building.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, because we live there. And
Right.
we want to live in a cool place and a place that's fulfilling.
Well, that's
you
that's.
know?
I mean, you moved to Wapaka. I moved to Wapaka as
Mm-hmm.
well, and I remember, you know, it was a challenge to move to a smaller town, and I just thought, you know, if I'm going to have to live here, it's going to be fun. And you know, and you said the same thing, and I think that everybody feels that way. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because we're not really just simply doing this for the economy or to get more tourist dollars, even though we know that the vibe is out there. People want to come to Wapaka in the summer because it's pretty darn awesome. But I think everyone in the group really wants it to be better because we live there. And it's for our kids and it's for our elders. And
And that was
That's
those
really
those
a-
were the things we focused on for the plan:
Right,
the
the
arts
plan.
and kids, the arts and community, you know, the arts and
Yes.
quality of life.
right. And that right there, I mean, when you have a city or a community that has that vibe, then naturally people are going to want to come there. They do. I mean, people that come to Wapaka in the summer, they feel that there's something special about it, and
Right.
we're just like, well, it's Watopia.
We're not quite there
You
yet.
gotta have a sign. Gotta have a sign there somewhere.
You need T-shirts, definitely.
Well, we are working on
We are working.
a branding and a wayfinding project.
Where
We-
it'll
and
say
we
"This
just
way
started-
to Watopia."
Yeah.
So, what comes? What comes next? I mean, now that the plan is officially approved,
Yeah.
uh,
Well, we're working on it.
You've already been working on
Yeah,
it,
we
right,
actually
so-
had a subcommittee of our committee, which we don't really have a name for yet.
subcommittee of a committee
A subcommittee of the committee. But what we did was Anne provided us with this list of cities that had arts councils in Wisconsin, big cities, small cities, and so we divided up and called and interviewed people that were on those committees just to gather data, because we don't really know what structure that we want to have. But we know that our list of people that we have on the list really do represent pretty much all of the facets. There's a few extra that we want to have on the committee. So we want representation from everyone that
cares
really,
about Wapaka's
yeah,
future.
the well-rounded
right.
kind of
So-
holistic approach, so that
Schools,
we can
business,
correct.
Yeah.
the whole
Um,
gamut.
Right, the whole gamut,
And
we
all
want
of those
young
were
people.
involved in the process.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I guess we want to do a kind of a quick assessment of, are we meeting through all of our various activities, are we meeting the tenets of the plan that we set forth? And there's 4 tenets of the plan, and don't ask me to
Well-
recite them, but it
The
has
arts
some-
and community, the arts and kids, the arts and quality of life, and then there was
then the
the
collaboration
collaboration,
of the groups.
right? The public-private.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, Henry, resources are limited. Not one, or there's not one organization that's going to take over and rule the world.
No.
But all of you together can keep doing great things.
Right. And that was actually, I mean, just to bring that point up, I think we all know for the past few years, a challenge for Wapaka has been, we're all very, insular And that's probably every community that's like that. And a little territorial. And so the past few years, just breaking those barriers down, I don't feel that that's an issue anymore, even though it's in the plan, but we've already been working
You have
together.
to keep being reminded, though.
Yeah, and we have
Yeah.
to keep nurturing those relationships. We can't just check it off and say it's done. So we still need to come together, and that's the purpose of this group, is to continue to come together and work towards the issues that we need to. So that's our challenge, is
Yeah.
to actually do it.
And it will not be linear or smooth, because
No.
that's how human interactions work. But
Right.
I feel like you've been building on some great stuff, and I have seen this spirit of cooperation grow, and you're going to keep figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think one of the beauties of the way the plan was structured is that it's kind of a guide. Okay,
Yeah, that's
you
a good
know,
word to use.
I've been involved in a lot of planning through my career, and a lot of times it's okay. Task number one, task
Yeah.
number two. Who's going to do it? When is it going to get done
Right.
by? And I think working with, is it artistic people or right-brained people?
Whatever.
Well, whatever.
Creative, yeah.
Okay,
Had this
whatever.
discussion yesterday
I
with
can never
somebody.
remember whether it's left
I don't
or
know
right
what
brain.
brain I'm working on right now. But they wanted something very loose and didn't want to feel
We didn't want to be
constrained
strained in.
because I think
Yeah, if you don't get
the
this done by April,
the,
then
the
or-
conversation between the two groups is still occurring, and people are getting comfortable with each other. And I think having too much structure to it
Right.
would have
Right.
created chaos.
But at the
probably.
same time, people in the group want to get something done.
Right.
So there's a balance that you have to
Right.
achieve there. And
Right.
and what's interesting to me is just talking about these concepts over the last 18 months, people are already doing stuff. They're
Yeah.
already saying, well, we don't really have a lot of stuff for kids. How are we going to bring kids
We're not
in?
waiting for the plan. We're
Right,
gonna,
or we're,
Yeah.
you're doing that event, let's do our event with you. And it's already happening because I think it's a really good idea. It's a pure idea. It's not contrived. It's not out of a textbook. It's just what we should be doing. And so people are getting it, and it's real exciting to see it happen.
yeah.
It's real exciting to see something that was an event every year. Now there's 3 groups kind of piggybacking onto it and sharing ideas, and it's just
Well,
really.
now it's a week-long event.
Well, the arts festival is,
Right.
yeah, the arts festival is out of control, man. It's just, I don't know. Watchopia is a weird place.
So when it's the August?
Yes,
can we
tell
plug
us,
the
August.
event?
tell us when
Plug the
Watopia is.
Okay, we're going to build the structure on August 11th, and then it goes through the following Sunday. And so all of the groups that have purchased
Then
the
is
pods
there a
are
big
also
Burning Man
involved.
thing at the
Yeah.
end?
They will
Yeah.
not let us burn it down.
Darn.
Because it's going to be downtown.
said
They don't want us
no.
to burn the
Yeah, we
downtown down.
blocked off
Oh.
a
Yeah.
half a block, and we're going
Right.
to put a
Yeah.
pop-up park in there.
But
Oh,
you know,
that's great.
because
You know,
of
for-
the plan, I have to just say this, because of that plan, everybody thinks they're reaching out to everybody all the time, even though they're not, let's be honest, So because of that, we had to be honest with ourselves and realize we don't really provide a lot for the youth in our town, which I'm not talking about the kids, because we do a lot of kid art and all that stuff, and we have Tom Pease, and we cover the little kids.
That can be easy to do, right?
That's
Little kids,
easy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's
That's
the middle
like-
schoolers and the high schoolers.
Right.
And it's the 20-somethings.
Right.
We have a lot of people that live in our community that are in their 20s and have kids, and maybe they're stuck around, maybe they struggled, whatever, but they're there, and they want to be part of this. And so we made a conscious effort to reach out to that group, which was, how do you even reach them, because we're old and stupid looking, and we're not hip anymore.
Right.
But we were lucky to make a really good inroad to the heavy metal community.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Is there such?
yes,
there is something?
It's pretty active, actually.
That is great.
There's a lot of heavy metal, and there's a lot of bluegrass in our area, and that's a lot of younger people. And all of those people have kids, and it's been awesome. And I think part of what helped that was we have this little radio program that our Arts Board and the city do together called Wapaka Local Live, and it's just this cheesy little Wayne's World thing where we have local musicians that play original music. And so we
that's
brought
not cheesy.
we brought in a heavy metal band, and they had to play acoustic, and then we interview them, and those guys care more about the community than you would believe.
Right.
And they want to be part of it. And so they're taking in this whole area. So our festival is actually downtown on Main Street, and then there's this below area that's by the river, And there's a park there that doesn't really get utilized much, but there is a bandstand down there. And so they're going to be down there, and they're calling it the Underground, the Watopia Underground. And now they've got like vendors coming, and they've got a emerging artist tent, and
Oh my gosh.
they're like, it's like a whole
We're gonna have to
other
go.
festival that's going to happen. So, you know, reaching out to young people, we always think kids, like you said, it's really easy to do that and say, okay, I did that. But what we really need is we need the next generation of people to feel like they're part of it and have it be real, not just, oh, we want you to do this so we can say we did it, but
Right.
you know, let them do it, because they've got a lot of energy and a lot of
and you
creativity.
got to give them enough rope to hang themselves with.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Well, actually,
Right.
what's really
Yeah.
great is we wanted your event to be down in that park because our downtown
Right.
revitalization plan is tying the river back up to Main Street and
Right.
trying to get that park used. So visibility is an issue that, you know, so it is sort of like an
Yeah.
underground.
Yeah.
But the fact that there's activities going on through your event is great because we want to encourage
Right.
more of that. So who knows? Maybe that'll be their thing. You know,
Right.
maybe they'll
It
do a
could.
couple events.
And then it'll get
a year
bigger
down
and-
there.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that kind of thing, when people take an idea and then run with it, that's what we want. We don't want to hold it all. We want it to happen because that's what will create the creative
Well, this
economy.
plan is a living, breathing document,
Right.
and it will change over time, but
Right.
yeah.
And
so-
as we talked about, Creative Economy Week is not just this week.
Right,
Right.
exactly. Every
Um,
week is
it's-
Creative
it's
Economy Week.
work every day, right?
Right.
Well, I'll just mention one more thing. Our retailers are really into this arts festival, and they do a whole day of chalking and kids music, and they bring the middle school band, and so they're just getting more and more active every year and feeling more a part of it too.
That's
So
great.
It's really,
Yeah.
really cool.
You know, you talk about Creative Economy Week, and when we were talking about our last summit, the whole focus on it was creativity because you can use it in business.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
You know,
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not just
You know,
the
it's-
art.
Absolutely.
And so
Right.
that kind of
Yeah.
like, you know, the light bulb
Right.
went
Right.
off in my head.
That
It's
is
like,
thank you for making that point.
right,
Because
you
Yeah.
know,
every
because,
business,
you
the
know,
Wausau Foundry.
organizations need to be creative in
Right,
how
the
they
city
Right.
deal
needs to
with
be
it.
creative,
Yeah.
the Wausau Foundry needs to
Exactly.
be
So
creative.
it was really a great platform to, you know, to kind of send this plan, you know, on its mission to get it done, but also just kind of raising awareness.
Right.
Right.
It was a, you know, kind of an aha moment for me.
Well,
I hate
it's
to admit it, but
And
no,
that-
no,
that's
that
great.
it's true,
Even-
and I guess the philosophy that everybody's creative in the
Right.
community.
Yeah.
This isn't just for the arts people; it's for everybody.
Right.
Everybody can participate. So
Yeah.
we're excited.
That's
well, some
good.
of the
Talk
greatest
even really
minds,
the-
you know, are musicians.
Oh, yes.
You know,
There's
mathematicians,
studies
you
that show that
know.
Nobel Prize-winning scientists
believe in
are
your
pretty
youth.
much all
Right.
involved in the arts. So,
Right.
Yeah.
right.
And again,
Well,
we
thank
have
you.
some very good structure in WPAC. Again, everybody loves their communities, and we're all boosters, okay?
Right.
But we've got a lot of good stuff with our music programs in
Right.
our schools and our arts programs in our school. But, you know, there's a good platform to work with,
Right.
Right.
definitely. And to make those connections will be great.
That's good.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, this
All
was
right.
excellent.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for this great discussion.
thank you for the
We will
focus.
all see you in Watopia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am going
In
to
August,
Watopia.
we
We
will
could do
all
like
be
what
there.
New London does, you know.
I
we
would
could
love
put
that.
New
We've talked
Dublin.
about it.
Right.
Put Utopia up
My
on
name
our
is
site.
Gail Sumi. I'm the Communications Director for the League of Wisconsin Municipalities. Thank you so much for joining us for this local perspective.